Hello, welcome to the very unfinished nursery. I have not done a ton with this space just yet. There are things I'm waiting on, like a changing table and things like that. So I've got this really blank basic wall behind me. But I wanted to spend some time in here because I wanted to do a video just talking about 6 things that I've learned in the 6 months of pregnancy that I've encountered. Because 1, I am 25 weeks today, which is just absolutely crazy. I'm a little more than halfway through. It has been such a journey. I feel like unless you have people around you who are very honest about pregnancy, just like wise women to talk to you about pregnancy, you kind of go in just thinking, okay, I'm gonna be pregnant and then I'm gonna have a baby. And it's like, yes, and the journey getting there is unlike anything anyone can ever prepare you for. And I really wanted to kind of open that conversation because people can tell you whatever, but really at the end of the day, everyone's experience is different, and it's just something you have to experience really to understand. But I just find that there's not enough space around this journey or around motherhood in general. And so I really wanted to open up the conversation. And up until this point, I've been kind of private with my pregnancy journey because it really felt deeply personal to me. And it still is, obviously, but I don't know, I just feel a little more apt to open up and talk. And it's probably because I'm in the 2nd trimester. First trimester, sometimes you just don't. You just want to seclude yourself from the rest of the world. So hopefully this reaches someone who is pregnant, wants to be pregnant, or if not even, hopefully this reaches just women in general, or just anyone really, because there's just so much to learn from this journey that's not just specific to pregnancy. However, it stems in this situation for me from pregnancy. I'm gonna drink my matcha with way too much milk in it. I went overboard this morning. Let's get into it. Number 1, the first thing that I have learned from my 6 months in pregnancy is that the journey from maiden to mother is it's a transformation. It is a path that is treacherous, and it's like if you were on a walk, but it was really just an obstacle course, if you will. It is not a path that is just like, oh, let me take a short walk, I'll have a kid, and then that'll be good. Then like that's it, and I can go back to the start and revisit maidenhood whenever I want. Like, no, it's not like that at all. The journey from maiden to mother rips you open completely. It is a journey that will completely transform you. It will break you down and build you up. It will illuminate all of the things that you don't want to face, and it will get you prepared to continuously face things throughout your journey as a mother. From there on, I'm in the midst of the walk, right? So I haven't hit the end yet. However, the journey from maiden to motherhood is unlike any other. I'll kind of like give you a short background on what I mean. When I got pregnant, at first that like big excitement of like, oh my gosh, yay, I'm pregnant. Usually there's some like, oh my gosh, I'm pregnant, because like you're trying to to understand that and reason with that, in your mind. After that short amount of time of like, oh my god, I'm pregnant, like yay, I'm pregnant, right? There comes the trials and tribulations of the first trimester, which I really find are there to clear out a lot of stuff that you have to work through and have to deal with before moving on. And so for me, I was really struggling with morning sickness, fatigue, all the emotions that come with that. I don't want to say like hormonal things, because anyone who is in my position, and constantly sick and not being able to eat things and not being able to smell things probably would also be in the same emotional state. But it was really a big test of, can you do this? Can you make it through these hard times? Can you surrender enough? Can you allow yourself to go through this, make it out healed on the other side? So my morning sickness really challenged me in terms of eating patterns. You know, an eating disorder has been something I've been struggling with for years on years. It started when I was 12, and I had been working through that eating disorder for a while, for like a good year, 2 years before getting pregnant. And I got to the point where it's like I could eat a lot of things, like I wasn't really worried about food, and I was like, cool, I'm healed. But really, I had never had a situation that would trigger me into being like, are you healed though? It was just kind of like, oh, I can eat whatever I want, so I'm healed. And then I got pregnant, and it was like, now you're gonna be triggered by all these foods. How do you handle it? And for a bit, it was so hard. But then I had to work through, how do we still keep ourselves nourished and whole while being sick all the time? That was a big thing that I had to face and I had to really learn, because now around 20, I think it was around like 23, 24 weeks, I was able to start eating certain things again. Like meat was a really big thing I wasn't able to eat in the first, half of this pregnancy. Now I'm slowly introducing those things again, and I'm like, okay, I can do that. I could have easily went back and been like, I'm not gonna even touch those, just on the off chance, like I can't handle it. Healed enough through those situations of being triggered that I actually can try foods again, and I'm okay. In another sense, I didn't let myself relax or surrender for the longest time. I was go. I mean, I had softened very much before I became pregnant, but I had become masculine in my, how do I put myself in feminine situations and in my feminine flow in a masculine way rather than just letting it flow. And so surrender was really hard for me because I was just constantly trying to make the next thing happen or trying to become something rather than just being. In the first trimester, I had to surrender. There was nothing I could do. I was so sick. I was in bed most of the time. I had to face the whole, I'm not doing enough. What's gonna happen if I don't make this much money? And biggest and most important thing I was doing was growing a human, and it was freaking hard. I had to hit a point of I have to surrender. Like there was literally no other way, in order for me to heal the fact of like, okay, it's okay to sit down and have some time to yourself. It's okay to not do anything. It's okay to not be constantly working like towards something, and just allow yourself to be in the moment and accept and love and appreciate the present. I had to learn and redefine what success was for myself. There are just so many things in that first trimester that really truly broke me open and allowed me to look at myself, and no one really tells you about that. They're just like, oh, you get sick, you're so tired, or whatever it is, but it's like, it's so much deeper than that. I'm sure there's a way to just look at it as only sickness or only tiredness, but I feel as if you do that and you just kind of have to push forward even harder, and it's not a softening and surrendering to what you can learn to then make the rest of the journey easier. And I would have hated to birth my child just for them to end up in a space that they're having a hard time with food because I never healed that, or they don't let themselves rest and relax because I never healed that myself. Like these are things that I want to teach my child, and now I'm in a situation where I actually embody them so I can teach them. So it's really just a big embodiment process. That's the first thing I've learned, and I know that's a lot, but just like the transition is huge. I'm sure I'll have more to say when I give birth, because I'm sure that transition is huge. I know it is, but that's like the biggest one first and foremost. The next thing that I've learned is that you will lose so much, but you will also gain that much more. You will lose friends, you will lose your patience, you will lose any sense of who you are, you will lose what feels like your mind. You will lose anything that's not serving you, and it will be hard. People told me that in the beginning, like, oh yeah, you'll lose people, it's gonna be difficult, and no one really told me why that is or what that really means. I kind of was just like, oh, anyone who doesn't think that I can be a mom or doesn't, support me in being a mom, then I'm gonna lose them. And that's not true. I've lost some of my best friends to pregnancy, and it's mostly just because, one, your capacity to be able to hold other people just completely diminishes. I don't have the capacity to hold other people's anything anymore. I can just merely listen sometimes and hold space, but if it's something that's continuously coming up, I'm just like, I can't hold anything for you. I'm so sorry. Like, I've got my own things to hold. I just can't do it. And then also, there's just any relationship that's just not 100% giving you what you need. If it's not providing for you, if it's kind of hit like its point, it will fall away. And it's almost inevitable because you are making room for more. You're growing, you're up-leveling, if you will. You just can't stay at that point that they are. You're not energetically or spiritually or physically there. You're pregnant. You're about to have a whole kid. It's just not messing around anymore. It's life. It's true life. You know what I mean? So you'll lose a lot of people. You'll lose your patience because a lot of people will test you. A lot of people will test boundaries, think they have entitlement to you, think that they have a say in how you mother, how you parent, how you birth, how you go through your pregnancy. You'll lose your mind because you're constantly working through all these things that are happening. You will lose a lot and it will be hard sometimes, but at the end of the day, you'll just gain that much more. You'll gain that much more respect for yourself. You'll gain that many more true friends and true people who are really there to hold you and be adults with you. You'll gain the confidence in yourself and the trust in yourself and the ability to really listen to who you are and not anyone else. You'll gain the ability to really see and be present in your moment. As you're present in your moment, you'll be able to see like, this is the future and this is just what it is. It's not just whatever happens. It's like, this is going to happen. I'm going to have a kid. I'm going to have a family. You'll gain confidence. You'll gain boundaries. You'll gain a whole lot of self-love if you allow yourself to. But you have to lose things in order to make room for that. That's kind of a difficult one for people. It was very difficult for me, but if it's just not serving, it's just not serving, and that's just what it is. But in the end, it's for the best, right? You don't want to have people who push your boundaries, that don't accept your boundaries, that, you know, don't serve purpose in your life or are dragging you down. Yeah, it's just one of those things that sucks, but also is very rewarding at the end. Kind of going off of that in a way, the third thing I've learned is that you cannot listen to others. You can't accept external validation from anywhere anymore. And in that, you need to find the community to lean on while you do so. So what I mean by that is when you have a child inside of you, outside of you, like when you have them, there is no looking to others for, what do I do? How do I do this? How do I hold this child? How do I feed this child? I mean, yes, there's support, hence the community. At the end of the day, you are the one keeping this child alive. You are the one growing this child in your body. You are the one that you looked up to as a kid. You are the parent now. You are that person. The more you can gain trust in yourself and in your ability to make decisions and not worry what others think about you when you make them, the easier it will be to be a parent, to be pregnant, to give birth the way that you want to, you know, mother. You're never going to find the validation that you want from the outside world. You have to find it within. You also should find the community that supports you in making your own decisions and doing things the way that you need to and want to, because motherhood is very lonely, especially if you don't really know anyone who's pregnant around you. It's definitely tough. You know, you're the only one going through this huge transformation. And even in that, if you aren't, people are going to be doing it differently than you. It's not about like, oh, are we all going to be doing this? Are we all feeling this way? It's more so like, this is how I'm feeling. Oh, I understand that, you know, no one can understand exactly what you're going through, but I'm here to hold you through it and, you know, listen to you. But you cannot be looking to others for validation. You have to know and trust yourself to make the right choices. That's just how it is as a mom. There's going to be situations all day, every day where you have to make choices, and there's not going to be anyone to tell you. And if they are, they're going to be like, well, I don't know. What do you want to do? Do you want to cloth diaper your kid, or do you want to use disposables? Do you want to co-sleep with them, or do you not want to? There'll be people on the internet or whatever that tell you not to do certain things. But at the end of the day, if that doesn't feel right, then it doesn't feel right. And you have to learn how to trust yourself and your decisions. You need to be able to accept when people don't validate you, when they don't believe in what you're doing, when they don't respect what you're doing, if they don't enjoy the way that you want to parent or mother. Oh well, it's not their kid. You know what I mean? Like you have to learn to find that trust within yourself, because it will make you that much stronger as a parent. The next thing I've learned is that you are capable of so much more than you think you are. In the beginning of my pregnancy journey, I actually did all the things that I said I wasn't going to do. Ultrasounds, lots of blood tests, finding out the gender of my child. Those were all things I was like, I don't really feel like I want to do them, and I still did them because I was afraid that I wasn't able to hold this child. I mean, there's some familial why I thought that was going to be hard for me to do. But also, I just did not trust myself. And this kind of goes back to my last point. Eventually, as time went on and all the ultrasounds proved me wrong and, you know, showed me that everything was fine, I realized, oh my gosh, I am so amazing and intelligent. My body is smart and it knows what to do, and I need to trust that. I realized like, oh my gosh, I'm making eyeballs right now, or like growing lungs inside of me without thinking. I just am. I'm just doing it. That really gave me a lot of confidence of like, wow, I'm intelligent, I'm smart, and I'm capable of so much more than I thought I was. And this also goes into just in general, I feel like I have that much more motivation and determination than I did before. Before my maiden phase, I'd be like, ugh, I have to do X, Y, and Z, like clean the kitchen or run these errands. I really don't want to. I'm just gonna put it off. Like, I'm too tired. Whereas now, I'm just like, I have to clean the kitchen and I have to do laundry and I have to do these errands and I'm going to do them. Yes, I'll give myself space to take a nap if I need to, but at the end of the day, these things are getting done. And it really proved to me like I have a lot more motivation and determination than I thought I did. I was just being lazy before and now I'm just being honest. Even if it's not something I want to do, it's something that I can do, and so I'm going to do it. And especially as I get bigger, I realize I am capable of so much more than I thought I was. I'm capable of bringing 2 dogs to the car at once. I am capable of doing all of the laundry and going up and down and up and down and up and down the stairs. It might be tiring, but I can still do it. I'm still capable of it. It's just showing me that my body is very strong and that I should never doubt it and I should never not trust it. The next thing I've learned is that my emotions are not hormonal or random. I mean, I'm sure they're definitely driven that way. However, they always serve a purpose. They are here for so much more than just me crying over not having ice cream. My emotions are here to show me that I need to communicate better. I need to take care of myself more. That I need to listen to my body more. That I need to take more rest. That I need more connection. They're always showing me something, whether I'm frustrated or sad or angry or elated, like whatever it is, they're always showing me what I want, what I need, and what I don't want and what I don't need. The more that I listen to them, the more I can prevent myself from ending up in situations where I'm angry all the time or I'm sad all the time. And a big example of this is I had a full breakdown the other day because Noah has been just working his absolute amazingly cute butt off and he's running his own business, so he's, you know, go, go, go. I am forever grateful for him for that, but I cried about that because I miss him a lot. That showed me at the end that one, we need more time for each other, and also that I need to connect with others. And I was just getting so angry and frustrated in the mornings when I woke up because I was starving. That taught me that I just need to take care of myself better, and I need to have food that is just readily available and always made. So it's not just me being hormonal, it's my body telling me what I need and to listen to it. And if you do come back up, then I know I need to reevaluate things, but like I don't get frustrated anymore over food. And I was actually talking with Noah the other day, and he said that I'm probably the most level-headed I've ever been. Whereas a lot of people say that they get really emotional, I'm probably the most level-headed. I think it's because I've just been listening to my emotions more, which is just so important. The last thing that I have learned over my 6 months of being pregnant is that how you take care of yourself during this time, during labor and during postpartum, is how you will take care of yourself and mother moving forward. If you spend this time not allowing yourself to rest, if you don't nourish yourself well, if you don't listen to your emotions, if you don't find community, if you don't put up boundaries, etc., 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 going back onto everything I just said, you will come out the other side, whether in labor or postpartum, really lacking in those areas. Meaning in labor, you may not stand up for yourself and you may not have the birth that you want. With the things that we can control, you may not control them and you may just let others take the wheel. You may not, nourish yourself as well postpartum because you don't know what nourishing yourself now looks like. If you don't stand up for yourself, if you don't communicate with your partner, if you don't tell them how you're feeling or how things are going, you're not going to be communicating with them afterwards. And that's when you're going to learn all of the things that you could have been learning during this time. The way that you take care of yourself now sets the tone for how you take care of yourself later. Make sure you set yourself up to have a good postpartum period. Find your community, find the people who want to take care of you and love on you during that time. Find the people that are supportive of who you are, how you're parenting, because they will be your biggest assets later on. Find out what your boundaries are and set them now before there's an actual physical child involved. Do all of these things so that you can set yourself up for the rest of motherhood, because otherwise it'll be a big challenge and a big learning process. And motherhood in general just seems to be a big, learning process, and you're constantly learning. So it's not like if you do these things, you won't have any lessons to learn and there's nothing for you to work through. However, though, there's just some key things that will be a lot easier if you do that. So setting yourself up now, finding your truth, finding your trust, finding your confidence in yourself, and really honing in on that, and really genuinely, deeply loving yourself and trusting that and connecting with that. Finding the things that bring you joy. All of those things are important because they're going to be something that you're going to need to tap back into later on. And if you don't have them, that's going to be a big learning journey as well, and might as well get your foot in the door. Those are the things that I have learned in my 6 months of pregnancy. It has been a whole journey. I am so not the same person as I was when I got pregnant in any sort of way at all, and I'm very grateful for that. But I'm also just want others to know, because I feel like people just see you and oh, you're pregnant, how great. And you're just you have no idea what I went through to get to this point. I think the more that we look at this journey as a lifelong transformation and lesson, the more that we can get out of it and the better parents we can be later on. I hope I opened up space and room for people. I hope that I kind of set a nice space for us to be able to chat and talk about the realities of motherhood and pregnancy and life in general and being a woman. I just want to be able to see more communities come together in this way. So I really hope that I kind of set the precedent for that in terms of my channel and my social media platforms and just the way I show up on the internet and just for others. Hopefully you took some stuff away, and I hope that your journey, no matter where you are on it, is beautiful and transformational and leads you exactly where you need to be. I will talk to you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. You can follow me on Instagram at Hannah Marie Health, and you can subscribe here if you want to see more, and I will talk to you at another time. Love you guys so much.